Hello, my YouTube world. This is Johnny Mo coming to you this morning. It's Monday morning, baby. It's Monday morning. Getting you fired up to go to work. Just want to answer some questions real quick. One in particular. Before we do that, let's start out with, if you're thinking about starting your business, you're watching this channel, now is a great time. We are almost into the fourth quarter. As those of you know me, I break my year down into quarters. April, May is first. June, July is second. August, September is third. October, November, we finish up in fourth. If you have snow removal, that's overtime, and that's the fifth quarter. Yeah, baby! Yeah, baby! Yeah, baby! So, it's a great time to start a business right now. Leaves are about to fall. You can make some money doing leaves. You can pick up some stuff. Because here's what's happened now. The guys that were, in the summer that were doing all the lawns, they're back to school now. Some of the kids are back to school. Some of the college kids, some of the bigger companies that relied on college kids are having trouble keeping caught up now because they haven't been able to. It's hard to find someone right now to do lawn care work for only 2 months because no one's going to want a job for 2 months and then basically, or 3 months, and then come back the following year. And having said that, I'm going to segue into the question right after I touch on this just a little bit more. And that is, if you want to start your business, it's a good time to get your feet wet. It's a good time to get in there and get prepared. Do some leaf work. Do some lawn work. Do some aerations. Now, I've got a lot of questions about aeration. Is aeration profitable? Absolutely. Here's what I do. I charge $7 per 1,000 square feet plus a $20 stop charge. Meaning this: if I length times with it, and then say I came up with 10,000 square feet, times that by 70, there's 70. So my minimum would be about $90 to do that. So say you got a say you got a 6,000 square feet lawn. 32, 52. I really don't like to aerate anything under 70, so I kind of just stress to everyone that $70 is my minimum. So up to 9,000, 8,000 square feet, I'll probably end up, 5, 6, 7,000 square feet. It's going to be a $70 minimum. Here's the problem with aerations. Aerations will beat the living tar out of you. I believe it's the single best thing you can do for your lawn is to core aerate it and to get air and oxygen and water down to the root level zone. It'll decompact the soil. See, when you're running with clay soil, clay likes to get real hard like cement, and it doesn't like to accept water. It takes a lot of water to penetrate clay. Clay is not my favorite soil by far. It'll cost you grass cuttings in the summer because it's the first to go. When it gets hot out, it gets like cement. The lawns dry out. It's terrible. It's nice to have a clay base underneath, a good topsoil. But clay is just terrible around here. We have quite a bit of it. And so you kind of need to aerate. The only thing is aerate. The aerating machine itself just beats the tar out of you. It's hard. You're walking a lot. And you start getting up into those acre lots. Ooh, that machine will just rip you apart. But there is money into it. I can tell you that I've done a lot over the last 20 years of aerating. Don't like it. I will do it, especially for my fertilizing customers. If you can afford it, try to get the stand-on machines. If you have a lot of variations, go that route. It's very expensive. It's like $9,000 for that stand-on aerator. I like Klassen. I think Klassen is the best aerator because you don't have to take it out of the ground at all. Klassen it's the best one that I've used. After that, they're all the Bluebird, the Lawn V-Air. They're all the same. Anytime you got to take it out of the ground and turn around, you're just getting beat up. So I like Klassen. I like the dual drive. I like being able to go around the yard. That's that on aeration. I just gave you, look at this. Johnny Mo tips and tricks, baby. Even gave you the pricing plan. Someone will say, "Oh, you're lowballing, Johnny. I charge $10 a square." I charge $10 a square foot, dude. That's cool, man. I'm glad you're making money. Around here, aeration is one of those services that it's hard to sell. You got to have a pocket of money because people aren't going to pay a lot of money for aerations. Now, let's segue into my second question that restarted when I started talking about starting your own business. Employees. I got a question last night about, will I ever hire again? Yes, I will. Here's what I'm doing. after about 19 years in this business, I took this year off for two reasons. Number one, you want to hire slow, fire fast. Number two, I needed to take a step back. And here's why. Because I lost a lot of employees in a 5-year span. So there's an old saying, you know, if you're married once and you divorce, okay. If you're married twice and you get divorced, well, something's wrong here. If you're married 3 times you get a divorce, it might actually be your problem. So what I'm doing is I'm analyzing my business this year. I'm doing all the work. You know what I mean? I'm doing the weed whacking, the mowing, the pruning, the fertilizing, everything. And I'm taking in consideration what my employees would go through. And see, what I'm doing now is I'm like, okay, if I don't like doing that particular weed whacking job, I can only imagine what a guy making between $10 and $15 an hour would feel like doing that job. So what I'm doing is I'm analyzing everything. I'm looking at the way I've done things. And I'm going to give you some tips here that I've learned over the years, and being solo again this year, I'm learning some things that have caused the demise of my employees not to want to stay with this business or to take a job even at a lower, like my foreman right now, my old foreman that used to work for me that just went off the deep end, he's working for another lawn care company. He's actually was making less when he started out than he was with me. And I'm like, wow, why is that? Is it that bad to work for Johnny's Mowing? You know, I don't feel like it was. But, you know, now that I review the books and I see the amount of work that we were doing and what I was asking out of an employee, I think my pay is well. I think my pay is well. I think when I had my foreman, he was making about $14 an hour, time and a half overtime, rerun legit. So he was pulling in some bank. But yet a few years later, he's working for another lawn care company and he's only making about $12 to $12.50 an hour. And I'm like, okay, so that lets me know that, you know, he just didn't like this job. Of course, I fired him, but what, you know, precepted the firing was how he was acting. He wouldn't have, if he liked his job, he wouldn't have acted the way he did. Now, some people are just goofballs, and they're going to do what they're going to do. I'm not going to introspect myself to the point where it's always my fault. But having said that, you guys, take, for instance, what you're going through right now. You know, if you're single and you're solo operator right now, I don't suggest you go out and start hiring help. I don't suggest you start hiring help the wrong way either. You know, if the government would ever come in and check your books, your IRS and all that, you'd be in big trouble. Do it the right way. Don't give them an envelope full of cash. And plus, the benefit package, when you're paying someone cash, how are you going to keep them? You know, you want them to collect unemployment over the winter. That's the benefit. You want to help them get through the winter so that way that they can stay with you and you have some consistency in your lawn and landscape business. So what I've done this year is, instead of hurry up and hire someone and try to keep all the work that I had, I eliminated all the problem work. I've given away about $31,000 worth of work this year. And, you know, some of it I sold, some of it I gave away. And, you know, you're like, oh man, you're crazy. Why didn't you just hire? No. Because, see, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do the hire, they stay for a couple months, then train again. I have to restructure the business. I had to restructure everything that Johnny's Mowing was doing in order to move forward. Sometimes, if the structure's not holding the weight, you got to tear it down and work on the foundation. Boy, I tell you what, baby, these are some tips and tricks here. Some of the things, I overworked my employees. I expected too much from them. You know, just because you can do it and you like it doesn't mean that they can do it and they like it. Everybody has a limitation. And the biggest thing that you have when you have employees and you get them trained, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. All of a sudden, you start piling on work and piling on work. Well, not only is that weight on your shoulders to get it, but then you put that weight on the employee's shoulder to, let's go. We got to go. And all of a sudden, every day is we got to go. And it's no fun to work And it's no fun to even be around you because, like, come on, let's go. You got to go, 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 got to go. I mean, it's always that way. And that's the trap in the lawn and landscape business. You will run into that trap as you start to grow your business. You're going to take on more and more, and you're going to put more and more on your employee. You have to understand and know every aspect of your business. Just because you have a passion to go out and slam out work, and you've done what it takes, you're working the 12 hours, and you're taking on the bi-weekly accounts, and every time you come, the grass is this high, but you still keep pounding through it, and all of a sudden you have some success, and you hire an employee, and then you're asking them to do the things that you never like to do, but you're asking them to do it at a bargain, $8-10 an hour to start out, and all of a sudden you wonder why you can't keep anybody. So what I've done is I've journaled what I like about my business and what I don't like. And some of the prunings are very hard. Some of the prunings, they're very hard to handle. And as a person who's cleaning up after the pruning, I'm like, you know what? I don't like that aspect of it. There's got to be a better way. So I'm redesigning some of the ways that I do things. Okay, I don't like this pruning. I've got rid of some prunings because I just don't like them. And because if I don't like them, that employee's not going to like them. So to answer your question, will I have employees again? Yes, but I need to rebuild the foundation. I need to redo what I was doing. It wasn't like I wasn't making money with employees, but I wasn't keeping employees. So if I'm not keeping employees, therefore I have to go ahead and think, you know what? After about 16 employees, you might be having some trouble. Now, I'm not going to put all the blame on me. And I realize how hard it is today because when you're dealing with these millennials that have come up, I found some things with the millennial. They live in a parallel universe. And I'm not kidding you. They live in a gaming world. The gaming world for them is their parallel universe. And they think that that's reality. When they step into the real world, their reality is like screwed up. So you can't put everything on you. I've noticed that with this millennial generation, they'll spend hours and hours and hours of gaming, and they don't really care about much of what goes on in life. They're willing to postpone life to enjoy the very now in the gaming industry. So that's something when you're hiring. This is something when I'm hiring, I am going to bring up in the interview process. Are you a gamer? What games do you like to play? I'm not going to tell them why I'm asking them, but I'm going to ask them, hey, just curious, do you like the game? Like, what kind of games are you into? And if they start pulling out all these games, Game of Thrones and Game of this and Destiny, I'm not going to hire them because I realize that their perspective is going to be skewed to the point where everything's going to be about gaming. I mean, I talked to a business owner here recently. He owns a pizza shop. He has a guy, every year when Grand Theft Auto comes out, the guy's missing for a week. He can't even afford the game, but he'll take his last paycheck, go get that game, and I'm calling off. It's like he's taking a vacation because he's so addicted, he's got to beat it. And those are things that you can't have in this business. And you have to be very, very conscious of people that are into parallel universes. Like, they actually think that the game is the real life, and then when they're in real life, all they can think about is their parallel universe. And you might laugh at me, but having been in this business 20 years, I've met a lot of gamers. Another tip about employees that I'll give you guys is you have to give them time plus money. So you can't just give them money, keep throwing money at it. You have to give them some time off. A big mistake that I made over the years is that we worked 6 days a week, and we just kept bow, and there was no time for them to enjoy their private life. And just because you have a business and you have demands, this is why you have to take time, know your numbers, know what you need to make, enjoy life. Enjoy your life. Don't work all the time. Don't ruin your marriage. Don't go out there and, it's all about work. You'll never enjoy it because you're always putting your happiness off till I become $1 million company or $500,000. Listen, I really enjoy my life. I really absolutely enjoy. I love, like tonight, I've got a full list. Let me see. I've got 11 lawns to do. And I'm going to come home and I'm going to take my kids out. We're going to practice some softball. Tomorrow we have basketball practice. Wednesday we got basketball practice. I'm going to enjoy my life. I'm not going to put my happiness off until I have 50 grand in the bank or 60 grand in the bank. We want what our parents had when it took them years to do it. So guys, enjoy your life, man. Hire right. Time plus money. That's my time. This is Johnny Mo, baby. This is a good video. Another university video.